Sunday. What a beautiful day outside. It's nice and cool in my room. We're gonna be working, what? Sorry about no video last week. I wasn't home last week. I only came home Friday. And all Saturday I was working on cleaning and rearranging my room with my mom. So, sorry about that. And I'm just gonna call it a vacation. So, I don't have anything else to do, so we're just gonna talk about my opinion on the SHMA Shimo because I feel like it. Even though I'm probably like a few weeks late. But it's finally on Amazon, so we're just gonna go in because I have nothing better to do. And it's the easiest place to get the images. So, I have a few problems with it. The first problem is... Okay, could you load, please? Okay, first let me give you a quick talk about the Haya, which I've already pre-ordered. So, we got this beauty. Very accurate. Looks just like what we see in the film. And I think it is perfectly sized. And hey, it can even stand on its hind limbs. And, if you look closely, it's got finger articulation. And beautiful bluish purplish blue nails, which is accurate to the film. Okay, now, what about the SH Monster Arts? Still trying to load. Okay, let's try this again. There we go. So, then we got this thing. Yeah, no. Okay. So, from my understanding, the SH Monster Arts is based on concept art, which, I don't mind that it's based on concept art. Having a concept art version of a figure is cool. Well, but I think people would be nowhere near as mad if they dropped the price. He gave it and called it and labeled it as concept art version, or just concept version. Should have made another figure that was more accurate. So, the only reason I'd ever get this is for my little original show I've made called Godzilla Vemox Rise. Or Godzilla Shimo Vemox Rise. I'm not gonna make an actual animation or anything because I don't want to get in trouble with Toho, and I don't know how to do that. And I don't really have... maybe I could take stop motion, but I also don't really know how I would work stop motion. So... I would not be past just, saying over the story, and maybe going over the storyboards for the first 5 episodes, making season 1. And then also showing you the figures that I've made, because I'm gonna be using the Godzilla Evolved from SH Monster Arts to make the custom figure for what I'm calling Vamoc Goji. Maybe the pre-evolved SH Monster Arts as well, and potentially just outright using an unmodified SHMA Shimo. Most sense, yeah, this is based off concept art, but here's the problem with that. It's still not the most accurate to the concept art. I'd actually say, comparing the SH Monster Arts Shimo to the Playmate Shimo in accuracy to the concept art, the SH Monster Arts is less accurate. The face still looks a little bit too long, in my opinion, and the neck way too giraffe-like. And still way too skinny. I mean, yeah, Shimo, what we got in the movie is definitely more bulky than the concept art, but I think this is still a little bit too thin. No. Especially when you compare it to, like, the 11-inch giant Shimo from Playmates, which is essentially this, but with lesser, which might as well be this, but with less articulation. And yes, I do seriously kind of mean that, not really, though, because they do have plenty of their differences. To me, I really mean it, because that's the first figure I immediately think of when looking at this. I think of the Playmates figures. If I can load it up, you know what, we're just gonna go down here. What the hell? Product, no. Okay. I'm gonna try and get this to work. I'm having problems getting it to load, though. Okay, we can do that. If you see here, the detail is pretty vibrant, but I think maybe in areas like this little gap between this joint right at the end of the shoulder, there are joints, and then actually at the shoulder joint itself, there looks to be a little bit of detail lost. At this little point right here. Here's sort of like at the center of the screen. It looks like there's supposed to be detail, but it's lost. Lack of noticeable detail right on her chest, which if you actually look at the Haya, yeah, is actually completely different. Like if you could see, she's kind of like what word do I say? Oh wait, I'm not monetized, so tits. There you go. Which, as far as I can tell, is actually accurate to the movie. Legendary, what are you doing? I mean, that's not gonna save her from Rule 34. Don't ask me how I know. I've done some very bad decisions in my life. I do like this little weird purple sheen. I don't know where that comes from. Considering it's not over the figure, I think if it was like a backdrop light, I think you would probably see it a lot more throughout the entire figure than in just these little spots. Maybe they're trying to make it look like she's wearing, like, I don't know, makeup or something. I don't know what they're doing. I'm gonna just say it's either just weird lighting techniques. Maybe that's why the dorsal plates have purple in them, though I don't think that's correct. And the only other explanation is that, since it's not throughout the figure, in that way, technically like the sheen, even though in the movie, yeah, she does have a sheen to her, but she's not like purple. She's not like this purple magenta color. Or she's just a bit shiny, a bit reflective. Which, in my opinion, actually makes sense, because white is a more reflective color. Also, see these little spikes on her chin and the back of her head? Yeah, they forgot to paint those. Those should be painted. I mean, the Haya over here. If I could make it work, they're painted. You can see them. Yet on the SHMA, they're not. Claws are inaccurate, but that may be accurate to the concept art. I don't know. For some reason, her tail joints over here. For some reason, they made her crystals her ball joint. I don't know why. Also, now size. The SH Monster is gonna be about 7 inches tall, and 16 to up to 19 inches in length, which is compared to the evolved Godzilla, real 6 point. I think the only one that's somewhat good scaling here is the Godzilla figures, as I think they're both pre-evolved and evolved are gonna be. He's 6 inches, 6.3 inches to be exact. I know the pre-evolved is just the same thing we've been getting. In fact, I have the GVK version, though I'm still probably gonna get the non-evolved because I don't have the 2019 figure. I wasn't really a fan of Godzilla. I actually was probably only a fan starting in 2019. And I never really knew about SH Monsters until, 2020. And by then, the Godzilla King of the Monsters SH figure was over $200 on Amazon. I didn't even know about Big Bad Toy Store at the moment. And there's just a lot of figures that I love that I probably will never get. Oh, there we go. Wait, how did I do that? Oh. So, yeah. Don't really care for the Beast Glove. Wait, no, not the Beast Glove. The, extra tooth. Yeah, painted tooth. Don't really care. Not getting the 2024 Kong. Either I'm just not gonna get any 2024 Kong, or I'm just gonna get the Haya. But back on scaling, how big is the Haya? Well, we can see here, 17 centimeters, translates to about 6.6 inches in height. And she's gonna be 13 inches long, I think, which is just ridiculous that the SH Monsters is bigger than it. Also, I'm not gonna actually, you probably already saw you know what, have fun. I mean, who's watching this anyway? And to the people who are actually watching this part of the video, thank you. This will become my job one day, I hope, but not expecting it to. So to me, that's weird. I've seen some people say, hey, I don't know how to pronounce their name. Not like their in real life name, but Kaiju, it's Kaiju something. Like in his video, he said that the SH Monsters may be a bit more is probably more accurate, but from everything I could find, the Haya is still more accurate in scaling. So this is going off Wikizilla, and also everything else I could find. On quadrupedal, at head height, Shimo is 375 feet tall, 114.3 meters in height. At head height, she's probably a bit taller at the tips of her dorsal crystals. And standing on her hind limbs like we see in this image on the Haya figure, she's gonna be standing she stands at around 162.45 meters in height, which translates to roughly 531 feet in height, maybe 531 to 32 feet in height. That's where she would be standing. I don't know how long she is, but I'm pretty sure she is pretty long. Definitely longer than Godzilla, no doubt about it. So I think the SH Monsters is a bit oversized, just like with the Ghidorah figure. Because they released back in 2019. And then, like, in the special color version in 2022 or something. Yeah, I think in 2022. Which I think is better than the original. I'm not gonna pick either up because I'm not paying $300 for that piece of crap. And I'm not paying like a $200-something for the special color version when I can just get the new one that's coming out from Haya. They made the original, which was screen accurate and screen accurately colored. But the new one still seems to be, actually, let me just go get it up. If I could spell on this stupid phone. So they have the new Ghidorah, the gold, the special, well, basically the gravity beam version. It looks like this. Let me find He's only $110. That's what he looks like. He still has the elements of the original, but he's a little bit more gold. But those, like, mustard yellow, he was more gold. He's now a little bit more like a traditional gold, which I prefer. And, he does have his stands from the other ones. And he gets his gravity beams, and he's the same price as the regular Ghidorah. So, I'm just going to be getting him instead. But, yeah, at the end of the day, the only reason I would buy this figure is to have a figure for for that show I mentioned earlier, or that I made. Because then this being, based off concept art, but still having its own creative liberties. Like, I think the face is still a bit too long, neck too long, a little bit too thin. But it would give me something to work with, and I wouldn't really need to customize it. I would only make that video discussing its story, use the episodes, and then showing the figures when I actually have the figures done. But, yep, I already pre-ordered the Haya. Should be coming around the, May 5th. So I'm only gonna buy this $240 thing if I would to get it for the, my own version of her from the Godzilla Vamax Rise. I think people would be a little also more happy if instead of this alternate head, okay, maybe they can include it. I would prefer if they didn't. But to sweeten that deal of that price of $240, it would be nice if they may be included. Okay, now some people I have heard would wish there was a beam effect, but her dorsal crystals glow the same color her beam does when she's firing her beam, which actually sounds kind of similar to Godzilla's but with this little, like, light-toned hum in there. And it's like it is like an icy blue version of Godzilla's regular atomic breath. So I think the fact that she doesn't, since her dorsal crystals aren't really glowing, or look like they're supposed to be glowing, having no beam effect is fine. But there is another accessory I think would be justifying the price. Let's say this figure is maybe more like worth $100. Well, then this $140 goes to something that I think would be actually very fun, which is, well, how about her cave? Not like the entire thing, but maybe just sections of both sides of the wall, all with chains and that can attach to a piece that you can hook around her neck, like we see in the film where she's chained up, and maybe have a little roof connecting it all. And this is also that you assemble it after you've got it out of the package. And then there's like a little rock that will allow to actually release the chain, so you can actually put her a bit forward, instead of like under it. You're like have her head in front of her body, and from like the shoulders to the head under it, and the rest of her behind it. I think that would actually be pretty cool. That would, for me, justify getting this thing just for that piece. And then with this Shimo as a side piece. So for whatever I want to use it for. But at the end of the day, that's what I think. So, have a good day.